Well, hello, audio friends. This is Michael Oskam from ProAudioLessons.com, and I'm here with another free 5-minute demo of, in this case, it's a SoundToys plugin known as EchoBoy, and it is my favorite delay unit to use. Second would be the Waves H delay, but more times than not, 9 times out of 10, if I'm going to instantiate some sort of delay plugin, it will be EchoBoy because of the different options that it gives and the amount of control and everything. That it's just exactly what you're looking for in terms of an echo or a delay unit. In this case, I'm going to be using it on vocals, and I'll show you kind of how I set it up and just some of the key features of it. Let's take a listen to what we're dealing with first. Let me bypass any delay. This is just the vocal and the accompaniment.
I can tell she's used to being used. Her heart is hurt, broken and bruised.
Okay, so you get the idea. It's kind of a mellow pop ballad. And what I'm going to set up here is a delay for a long throw. And if you've been mixing for a while, or you're hip to the audio lingo, then what throwing to a long delay means. If not, quite simply, if you are listening to music and you ever hear how a vocalist line, only the last word of a particular line will repeat or delay, but not the next line they sing, that's all by way of automating either a bypass on a plugin or a send level. I like to do it by way of a send level, so I'm going to show you. So here we have this vocal part bounced through Melodyne a little bit, has some EQ and compression going on, vocal rider to top it out, and then I have a delay send going to a stereo aux right here called delay, and on it I have EchoBoy. So what I'm going to first want to do is this automation lane right here is what's going to control how and when I'm throwing the audio to the delay. So what I need to do is come down here and change this to be the delay send A, which is in the A slot level. And the reason it knows it's delay is because I renamed it that. And that send is being input on this delay channel. Now this particular automation point and line here represent how much is being sent to the delay unit. First, let's go into the EchoBoy and take a look at it before we set up these throws. It has a lot of the same parameters as a lot of different Echo plugins. Obviously, a mix knob for dry and wet. Most of the time in situations like this, where we're throwing by way of a send, the send level is what's going to dictate how dry and how wet it is. So we would, most of the time in this instance, you want it set 100% wet, because all you want is the delay from this, and then you blend the two together. Echo time can change it between like 64th, 32nd, 16th, 8th notes, etc. Feedback is pretty simple, how many times the delay will feedback. Or if you were to think of it in terms of an analog desk, how many times it's being resent into the same channel. But that's for another lesson. And then it has some filtering options, a low cut and a high cut, which is good to give it more of an analog sound. Once we move to the middle and right of this plugin, we get into some of the more in-depth parameters, and it has a tap tempo, which is incredibly useful. If you've set your session tempo to be correct, which I always recommend you do, you can click this, and as you can see, it jumps right to 90 beats per minute, which is amazing. On the right here, we'll get into these in a minute, groove and feel. You can kind of give it a little bit of sway. On the right, we have saturation, so if we want to make it a little bit crispy, a little distorted, a little saturated, we can vary the degrees of that with this knob here. And then we have an input and output to balance our levels a little bit. If we end up pushing a little too much, we can back off the output. Down here are the different modes. Single echo, which is what it sounds like. It's more like a mono echo up front. A dual echo will have 2 echoes. It's not exactly the same thing as a ping pong, and I'll explain why. Ping pong, if I go to this, as you'll see, it has an alternating echo between the left and the right, whereas a dual echo has them going simultaneously. And then we have a rhythm echo, which is a little more in depth. Probably far too much for this quick tutorial. So let's just stick with, let's just go with a single echo for now. And what we first need to decide is what style of tape. And this bottom corner here is really the highlight of this plugin. If you click this drop down, you have all of these different tape sounds. And they are so different. Each one is different from the next. And so you can really get some interesting tones. So I'm going to choose master tape for now. I go to that one for a lot of stuff. And let's listen.
I can tell.
Let's make sure our send. I'm just going to set it real high at nominal for now.
I can tell.
Okay. And it's in sync, but let's make it be fourth notes. So we'll have more of a.
I can tell.
So what I'm actually looking for is more of like a half note idea.
I can tell.
So what I'm going to do is a ping pong. I'm going to make one a half note and one a quarter note. And this will sound very cool in a second. Let's get a few more feedbacks. I'm just going to filter off some highs, filter out some lows.
I can tell. She's used to being used.
Very cool. If I wanted to set up a throw to it, all I would have to do is come down here to the automation lane, grab my hand tool. Actually, you can do it with a smart tool. If you actually just highlight the word you want to throw, and you can then bring up just that line like that. And
I can tell.
Get the idea? Pretty cool, right? I did a little bit off.
I can tell.
Okay, so, and then I can go through the whole vocal line and just continue to do that.
I can tell. She's used to being used. Her heart is hurt.
Get the idea. Let's listen to it in context now. I'm actually going to bring up the entire level.
I can tell. She's used to being used. Her heart is hurt.
And if we want to go into a different echo, that's fine. Let's try something different. We can do the telephone sound that everybody knows.
I can tell. She's used to being used.
Very cool, right, guys? I highly recommend this. This comes as part of a SoundToys bundle. If you can get the whole bundle, that'd be great. I'm going to be covering a few more like Decapitator and Devil Lock and all these things. They come in a bundle, and you know, it's a little pricey, but it's actually it's worth it, and your mixes you'll notice a difference in them. Stick around next time. We'll be doing, I think, some more SoundToys, which I just love, and also some FabFilter stuff. So stay tuned for the next free 5-minute demo, and I'll talk to you guys soon.